Hi, my name is Riley Erdman, and I'm in English 204, and today I am going to be talking about Of Politics and Art by Norman Dubie. And basically, this poem is about a narrator, and he's reflecting on a time when he was one of a class of children that listened to the stories of their dying teacher, and it says she was dying from tuberculosis. And there's a storm outside, and the narrator is sad to learn that with his teacher died an era in which art was not stifled by politics. And I feel like there's a contrast between the like his childhood and the way he's reflecting on the childhood of the future generations. And he's reflecting on a time when his teacher was reading Moby Dick by Melville. And basically there's contrast between the class and the book. And basically the class itself is like the whales in the book. I feel like because there's like the children are finding peace and understanding when they listen to their teacher talk, and that's kind of the point of the book. The narrator's retelling takes an abrupt change after he hears that Melville might not be read in the future because there's no women in his novel. And it makes the narrator sad because basically he's thinking that it's not fair that children aren't going to get to read a story that's so profound, even though just because it doesn't have any minorities in it. And to him, that's really not fair. I think basically the narrator realizes that, like, as the teacher is dying, so is the world in a sense. Like, his teacher is teaching them about politics and art and all these things, and he's basically saying that the world really, like, you can't have a civilization that goes on living if you're not being introduced to new forms of beautiful works of art, whether they're politically correct or not. I think that this poem is in a sense a warning, and he's saying that the world is going to suffer if children are only taught politically correct art. And I think like the storm raging outside is like saying that if you don't, if you're basically confined to only viewing the art that society wants you to view, then it's going to destroy the world, just like a storm, like in a sense, destroys the world. That's just my take on it. This was my favorite poem, I think, throughout the whole of what we had to read this week. Basically, just because I feel like it was the one I understood the most, and I understood what they were saying about politically correct art. And I've read Moby Dick, and I feel like if it wasn't being read in future generations, then it really would be something that isn't fair. Because I don't think that it not having women is really that big of a deal. I mean, it's about whalers, and most of the time back then they were men who were whalers. So I think the fact that it doesn't have any women in it is really kind of the point of the story. So this poem just really spoke to me in that way.